So you add that up with all the Democrats going, leaders of cities and states and such. Well, we Trump doesn't need to do that. He doesn't like come in there and take over. How dare he? How dare he? Well, the thing is that if you live in D.C., you know what the crime's like because your friend's car got jacked in his car. Somebody else had somebody did a meme. I should have done it for you. And it shows a guy with a gun holding it to somebody's head, and it says what people perceive Washington D.C. to be, and it's just this picture, and then what it's really like in D.C. And then there's a picture of the Capitol, and there's there's a nice shot of some statue or something, and then there's having dinner, and then there's in the fourth quarter, there's the guy with the gun holding it to your head. So, in other words, everybody knows crime's an issue. This is a problem, obviously, but it's worse. It's worse because not only are DC cops changing the crime stats, but the FBI is not getting the full stats from many of the nation's largest cities. Remember this a couple of years ago. This was like, what are you, there is not a huge crime decrease. You've got to be kidding. Defunding the police. They were trying everything they could to try to pull out of the old crapper the crime stats after the George Floyd riots, caused the billions of dollars of damage. And defunding police was a thing. But somebody decided, oh, yeah, it's a great idea. Let's do that. Let's not have any police. Obviously, the cops are the ones causing all the crimes. Really? So anyway, New York City does not report its crime stats, all of its crime stats to the FBI. New York State doesn't. L.A., San Francisco, San Jose. Let's see, where am I? Riverside, Sacramento, San Bernardino, Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Allentown, Pennsylvania do not report all of their stats, if any, to the FBI. You think that's kind of... Oh, I know. Wait a minute. Before I get to the other cities that don't report their crime stats to the FBI, do you think that might have something to do with lowering crime stats? Do you think that if you reduce the amount of crime stats you give to the FBI, or you change the crime stats to show a lower level crime, that it might show your town, your city, your state has a lower crime level? You think? Yeah. Okay. So here we are. Oakland does not report crime stats. I'm sorry. I remember this is a long time ago. I was in high school and we went to Oakland. All the cheerleaders went. It was a college trip and it was a basketball journey where I was on a cheerleading squad. I know, shocking. And so we all went down to Oakland. Like, well, the basketball team gets to go here. Why can't we? So we ended up going with our chaperone and all. And one of our beloved basketball players got the snot beaten out of them on the streets of Oakland. So there you go. Florida, Fort Lauderdale doesn't report all of them. Let's see, Orange County, Florida, New Jersey, Patterson, Woodbridge, Edison, Clifton, Camden, Illinois. While Chicago itself has improved reporting, which is to say it still doesn't give the FBI all of its stats, counties like DuPage County and Cook County, still not reporting its crime stats. So that gives you an idea. It's rigged. The whole crime stat thing's rigged. Wow, if we do that, there aren't going to be companies that want to come in here. Okay, so that's happening. And so that's why Donald Trump is going to put National Guard, federalized National Guard members on the streets of D.C., not the Capitol, remember. Nancy Pelosi needed to approve that for remember the January 6, 2021, where like 10 days before, 3 days before, and like, please, can we activate the National Guard. I'm hearing reports that there's going to be trouble. People are planning trouble. This is Trump. They ask, Nancy Pelosi's got to green light it. She did not. She did not want to. But later, and you'll see these images all over X today, and these dystopian images of the National Guard all over DC. Yeah. And you know where those are from? After Nancy Pelosi put National Guard on Capitol Hill. So, yeah, just crazy. Seriously, just crazy. So here we are. The hunters are becoming the hunted. And they're all doing it. The people going after Donald Trump initially, what were they doing? They're going after him because he's a Nazi and or a terrible person, and he's an autocrat. He's a fascist. He's all of these things. But what is he doing? He's trying to make things a little bit better for everybody else. Like, I know, here's a great idea. Let's not have so many of you murdered in Washington, D.C. So we've got that going for us. Okay. This is a good thing. Law and order, always a good thing. Also, and this is something I want to get into with my guest coming up here, and it's this. Since the entire breadth of government has gone after Donald Trump over the past 10 years, the FBI, the CIA, and all those guys going after him, and now the recent revelations that we've discovered about how Barack Obama green-lighted changing a intelligence assessment to reflect that, oh, you know, Russia really was behind efforts to get Donald Trump to win the 2016 election. And yet only days before, actually the day before, he was presented with an intelligence community assessment that concluded exactly the opposite. From Tulsi Gabbard, from using excerpts from the presidential daily briefs, showing that prior to Barack Obama announcing that he wanted them to change the intelligence community assessment, that it said low confidence for data leaks to Russia. We have low confidence that we actually don't agree with that. Let me see. Here we go. In multiple places. I want to make sure I get on page 7. Here we go. IC is prepared to produce an assessment per the president's request that pulls together the information we have on the tools Moscow used and the actions it took to influence the 2016 election. And that's what he changed it to. The day before, it was an entirely different assessment, i.e., yeah, no Russian influence or very little. Was there any hacking going on? No, we have no evidence of any hacking going on. We think that, in fact, there's no evidence to suggest that we know at all whether or not Putin was trying to change anything to help Hillary Clinton. Okay. My point is, and I'm shocked actually that nobody else is actually talking about this particular thing. My point is that Barack Obama ordered the cover up. He literally ordered the changing of that intelligence assessment to read something it did not read, to cover up the assessment so that he could continue and others could continue to say that Donald Trump was actually a Russian asset. I've got plenty of examples of President Obama, after he left office, continuing the conspiracy to suggest that Donald Trump was helped by the Russians and divined and derived help from the Russians.